Did the Chicago Bulls make a mistake by declining an Alex Caruso trade last NBA trade deadline? We'll be breaking that down on today's show. And then also, the Bulls have scheduled 6 pre-draft visits with 6 NBA draft prospects. I'll be breaking down each of those guys on today's show. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and before we dive into all of that, I need your guys' help there. So we are closing in on 7,000 subscribers here at the channel. And my bosses told me I am not allowed to leave the office today until we hit 7K. So if you guys are seeing this and you guys have not clicked that sub button, please do so. I'm trying to go home, so I'd really appreciate it if you guys could hit that sub button. But let's talk about it. So this was the bombshell report that we got around Alex Caruso. This is coming in from Will Gottlieb, as he is really tapped in with the Bulls. And, he dropped an article, and this is what he said. He said the Bulls took calls on Caruso but never made them. According to a source with knowledge of the situation, the Bulls have received offers from multiple teams consisting of multiple protected first-round picks. One of these deals included a pick in the top 10 of the 2024 draft, the source said. The Golden State Warriors were among teams who made strong offers for Caruso, multiple sources confirmed. Now, everybody is freaking out. Like, every Bulls Twitter account, every Bulls fan I have talked to, and they're saying, why didn't the Bulls trade Alex Caruso? Why didn't they get that extra top 10 pick? And I understand. I am in the camp, probably more than anybody, that the Bulls need to reset this kind of timeline and start building through the draft. However, talking about this draft, in this draft, Caruso is worth way more than a top 10 pick. This is one of the worst draft classes we have ever seen in NBA history. So honestly, I don't blame the Bulls for this one on declining a top 10 pick for Alex Caruso, even though you can make an argument like just, get what you can. But, he's still under contract. You can still trade him this summer. You can still trade him next NBA trade deadline. So I necessarily, I don't really think it was that big of a deal that the Bulls just decided, not to get a top 10 pick for Alex Caruso this year. But speaking of Caruso, he is going to be a guy where contenders are going to be calling. And, they could still make a trade into the top 10. And I think there could be a countless number of teams that could want, the likes of Alex Caruso. But he was great this past season. 10.5 points a game, almost 4 boards, sneaky 3.5 assists tonight, averaging 2.7 stocks per game. And he was also the most efficient he has been throughout his NBA career, shooting almost 41% from downtown. That is awesome stuff from AC6. He has been by far one of my most favorite Bulls players to watch throughout his tenure in Chicago. Now, I say all that to say this. The Bulls need to reset at some point. Like I just said, I don't think it was the worst case in the world that they said no to a top 10 pick for Alex Caruso. But there will be a time when the Bulls eventually need to hit reset on this clock and just reset their timeline and build through the draft. So, I see it both ways. And I understand why people are freaking out that the Bulls said no, but I don't think that is even on a top 5 list of, wrong moves this front office has made. And listen, look at the draft order right now. There are a number of teams that will be calling about Caruso. And, you look at the Spurs, they got picks 4 and 8. I'll dive into them here in a little bit in a second. But even like a team like the Charlotte Hornets, the Houston Rockets, I could even see like the Memphis Grizzlies throwing pick 9, or even the Utah Jazz. Like, there are multiple teams here that could throw a top 10 pick for Caruso, since in this draft, like, there's a lot of projected really good role players. There's not a ton of really good stars in this draft. So, like, team could be saying, why not we just go get Caruso, who's already a championship winning role player with the Lakers, and he just plays basketball the right way, and he just makes winning plays at one of the highest levels. Now, I will say, watch out for the Spurs. I think the Bulls and Spurs are going to make a trade this offseason, whether it's for LaVine or Alex Caruso, because they're going to be aggressive. They see where the Western Conference is going. They need to take advantage of Wemby on this rookie contract because of the new CBA, all these new rules. It's going to be harder, to build a team around a superstar, which Wemby is. So just like how NFL teams take advantage of a rookie contract, I could really see the Spurs doing the same with Wemby on his rookie deal. But you guys let me know, would you trade Alex Caruso? Give me a T for trade or give me a P for pass in the comment section. Play GM for me on today's show and let me know your thoughts. If you would ever trade Alex Caruso, Maybe it's for a top 10 pick, but you guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. So we're diving into some pre-draft visits here for the Bulls. Darnell Mayberry does a great job covering Chicago, and he tweeted out saying the Chicago Bulls, owners of the 11th pick, are holding pre-draft workouts today featuring Ron Holland, Terrence Shannon, Ryan Dunn, Filipowski, Adam, Bona, and Justin Moore. We'll dive into those 6 players here in a second. But first off, guys, I want to tell you about a great deal we have going on right now. Chatsports.com/Bulls combo. Get your 2 t-shirt combo today. I actually got this last summer. I wear these shirts all the time. Super comfortable, wash very well. So if you guys want to help support the show, get some Chicago Bulls merchandise. This is the link to do so. Chatsports.com/Bulls combo. So the first player that the Bulls had a workout with was Ron Holland, who, the more I look into this, the more likely I think that he could potentially be the pick at number 11. Now, some more on Holland. He is 18.8 years of age right now, going to be turning 19 here over the summer, but he's got really good size to him for a wing, 6'8", 206 pounds. And the pro comp I came up with for Holland was Cam Whitmore. Very similar players, very athletic wing, kind of both play a AAU style of basketball, which you could say is a negative or a positive thing, but his role in the NBA and with the Bulls would be that slashing wing. He would be that guy who's going to consistently generate rim pressure and just consistently put pressure on the defense. But my biggest concern for him is, his offensive ceiling. Like, can he develop the handle? Can he develop the jump shot? Because he was not a good shooter this past year with the G League Ignite, really struggled from downtown. So those are the kind of things where I'm going to be looking at in his development, but he's got the athleticism. He's got the rim pressuring ability. It's just going to come down to the jump shots, and can he shoot over the top of a defense? Because NBA defenses, they know to adjust. They'll switch it up, and he's going to have a secondary option to his game if he wants to be successful. Now, hometown kid, or not hometown kid, but man who played his college hoops at the same school as Io DeSumo, Terrence Shannon Jr., who, shout out to him. He's been through a lot this past year. Tremendous basketball player. Seems like a really good dude as well. And, I would be thrilled if the Bulls were able to land Terrence Shannon, but he was dominant this past season for the Fighting Illini, averaging 23 a night, 34 minutes a game, very efficient as well, was a high-volume scorer, high-volume player for the Illini, and the fact that he was shooting 57.5% from the field and almost 40% from downtown is very, very impressive. Now, with where the Bulls are at, you got Kobe White, you got Io DeSumo. I don't necessarily see a need for Terrence Shannon, but I like him as a prospect. I just don't love his fit with the Bulls offense. Now, third up here, Ryan Dunn, the forward from Virginia. And I'll say this, I think Ryan Dunn has an argument to make as the best defensive player in this draft and possibly one of the best defensive players we have seen over the past couple of years. I mean, the numbers are ridiculous. He was averaging 3.6 stocks per game last season in college hoops with only averaging 27.5 minutes per night, but he plays his role very, very well. And, if the Bulls were in more of a position where they were knocking on the door of being a contender, I would like Ryan Dunn a whole lot more, but, pretty efficient basketball player, 54.8% from the deck, and also elite defender, man. He can guard multiple positions, and if you just look at what the Boston Celtics had done, over the past couple of years, developing Brown and Tatum, you're going to need guys to guard them, and Ryan Dunn would be on a short list of guys in this draft that I think could actually do so. But number 4 here, Kyle Filipowski. I threw out the comp of Lauri Markkanen this before we really started diving into him early on this offseason, and I kind of disagree with that. I think he's going to be more of a Kelly Olynyk type of build, just mainly because I don't think he's the athlete that Lauri was. But again, he was fantastic for the Blue Devils this past season. And, I really like guys who played college hoops at a high level and were very efficient. And, Filipowski is that. Has the ability to knock it down from downtown, 35% this past season. Shot him at a pretty high clip as well. But he does have some rim protecting ability. Not sure if that'll translate to the next level. But 1.5 blocks per game. Very efficient, like I said. And he can hit the glass as well. But next up here, 5th pre-draft workout for the Bulls, Adem Bona. I think I pronounced that correctly. But the big fella from the UCLA Bruins, and he's in the mold where it's like that prototypical wing defender, lob threat. And I actually do think this could be a guy that the Bulls could be looking at. I think pick 11 is really, really rich, but maybe the Bulls are trying to trade back up, into the late first round, early second round to get the UCLA forward. But hey, 26 minutes a night, 12.5 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, almost 2 blocks and a steal a game, and very, very, very efficient as well when he did get those opportunities. So this is another, prototypical defensive-minded player, and then the Bulls definitely have a need to add one of those guys to the roster. So keep your eyes out for him. Now, last player here, Justin Moore, coming out from Villanova. I loved him a couple years ago when he was with the Wildcats. Elite scorer, can do it from all three levels. Thing is with him, he tore his ACL a couple off seasons ago, and he hasn't been really able to be the same guy. I mean, this past season, he struggled, man. Like, he was not the same efficient basketball player that he once was at his days at Villanova. And, I don't think these numbers do a good job of representing who he is as a basketball player. He is a three-level scorer. He can shoot the three ball a whole lot better than he did this past season. And, personally for me, I watch a lot of Big East hoops. I went to Xavier University, and I was looking at, Villanova this year, and I thought they could be a team that could be a sneaky Final Four contender. But I was assuming Justin Moore would have a bounce-back year. That just didn't really happen. So, Bulls are visiting with him. Could be a guy they sign after the draft. Not sure if he does get drafted, but just wanted to get you guys the news on that front. But, hey, we just went over 6 players that the Bulls could draft, next Wednesday at pick 11. You guys let me know. Who do you want the Bulls to draft? If I had to make the pick right now, I'm still leaning a guy like Cody Williams or even a guy like Ron Holland. I want to go those athletic wings that you could really just, develop. You guys let me know down in the comments section. Want to also just say thank you guys so much for the support we've had on the channel as of lately. If you guys haven't, hit that subscribe button. Help us reach 7,000 subs. I would really appreciate it. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.